just finished watching the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97, so here are my thoughts on it. I ain't gonna lie, I was skeptical of this show going in. I had a lot of concerns. Based on the poor to mediocre track record of the more recent Marvel projects, I was fully expecting the show to be nothing but shameless nostalgia bait designed to pander to the millennial crowd. Even after they dropped that first trailer that, to be honest, looked pretty decent, I kept finding myself asking the question, did we really need this? But I'm happy to say within the first 5 minutes of episode 1, all my complaints, all my misgivings, all my concerns were rendered completely moot. They cooked with this shit. They really did. They sprinkled that Guy Fieri sauce on it. No, let me take this damn visor off. It is squeezing my temple. Yeah, man, those first 2 episodes were gas. I was completely blown away. I couldn't believe how much fun I was having. Because at this point, I really didn't think Marvel had it in them. These first 2 episodes had all of the masterful, complex storytelling that I remember from that 90s show. Not that 90s show, this 90s show. The strongest element so far has gotta be the pacing. They know when to bring in the action scenes. They know when claws need to be popped and lasers need to be blasted. They also know when to give you those quiet moments that get you emotionally invested in the characters and their struggle. Cyclops, for instance, he gets more character development in these 2 25-minute episodes than all the Fox X-Men movies combined. I also liked how the tone was pretty consistent. Didn't bog down the emotional scenes with that Disney Channel MCU humor. Now, it's not like it's joyless or somber or anything. It allows you to understand the gravity of what the X-Men are fighting for. The depth of the intolerance and hatred that they're fighting against. The emotional toll that it takes on them. They also did a great job of setting up the rest of the season. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Storm and where her character arc goes. They've already set the stage for a lot of great comic book storylines that they could pull from in the future. But what really impressed me is how little the writers relied on the star power of Wolverine. It would be super easy to have him take over the show and center the entire narrative around him, but they don't. It's just another character on the same level playing field as everybody else, which is super refreshing to see. The animation so far is also really solid, especially the action set pieces. Even watching on my iPad, I could tell that they clearly took their time animating this. The passion of the people working on it really shows. I don't get it twisted. We're only 2 episodes in. There's still plenty of time for this show to take a nosedive, as Disney Plus shows often do. So far, I'm very impressed. And this is probably the most excited I've been to watch a Marvel show or movie in I don't even know how long. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you fly like me, give me a follow.
It's entirely possible that
Spoilers for X-Men 97, you have been warned. Jail. Straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. Throw this Dark Horse ship in the gulag where it belongs. Lock the door and throw away the key. Oh, but Supafly, there's precedent for it. It happened in the comics. They hooked up in the Savage Land and they got married and had a kid in the Age of Apocalypse timeline. Yeah, and it was weird there too. I never understood why it was even a thing in the first place. And I don't want to hear. So I really hope this is not going where I think it's going. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you fly like me, bless your boy a follow. Oh look, someone on TikTok complaining about X-Men 97. Surely this should be a valid critique of the show and not just rage bait nonsense. Let's check it out.
Look what they did to my boy Gambit in the new X-Men 97 series.
You know what? No. I am not taking the bait. 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 Fuck it, I'm taking the bait. What is you talking about? I know I've made my fair share of complaints about Marvel projects in the last couple years, specifically with the decline in quality we've been seeing with the movies, but watching some of y'all's reaction to the premiere of X-Men 97 proves to me that even when you give fans exactly what they're asking for, there's still gonna be motherfuckers out there who will find a way to complain. Oh, good lord, good heavens, look at what they did to poor Gambit. Do me a favor and read that title for me real quick. I'm assuming you can do that. I might not have my glasses on, but I'm pretty sure that says X-Men 97. You know how a lot of dudes were out here dressing in 1997? Exactly like this. Hell, they had Will Smith wearing one in Fresh Prince. Is it something I would wear? No. Was it a popular trend back then? Yes. Very. You then went on to say this in your video.
This was Gambit back in the day, back in the 90s, right? Back when he was allowed to be manly. Not this.
This can't be real. This can't be real. Who the hell is this right here? Nah, you tell me. Looks an awful lot like Gambit to me, wearing the exact same outfit you just described. Fuck up out of here, bro. This is exactly my problem with a lot of these comic gate anti-woke grifters who do nothing but farm outrage culture for content. You have zero legitimate criticisms of the media you consume outside of the superficial, to the point where you're literally inventing shit out of thin air like you got the friggin' reality stone to be mad about. Doesn't that get exhausting for y'all? To just parrot the exact same talking points over and over and over again, to the point where you can't even enjoy genuinely good content that even the most avid naysayer would have to admit is at least okay. Nah, they had my boy Gambit in a crop top for like one scene. This I will not tolerate. I'm exhausted just thinking about trying to see the world through that lens. But hey man, whatever you gotta do for the views, I guess.
X-Men 97 doing great is really bad for the future of Marvel.
Now let's talk about it, because Brody low-key has a point. As much as I'm enjoying X-Men 97 so far, and it's completely exceeded my expectations, I know for a fact Marvel, Disney, and all these other studios and streaming services are gonna learn all the wrong lessons from its success. They won't understand the fact that the reason why the show's so well received isn't because they dusted off yet another nostalgic 90s property, but because it's just a good show with quality writing and engaging storytelling. And they'll think they can just replicate its success by wash, rinse, repeating the same formula with all their other nostalgic 90s properties, only with considerably less effort put into the actual quality, because in their mind, this show proves that all you need is that nostalgic factor to carry you. Because these executives are not very smart and always looking for the next shortcut to success. It's the same thing we saw when Spider-Verse and No Way Home introduced them to the idea of the multiverse. After those two movies came out, they thought the multiverse was going to be their key to success, forgetting the fact that to make a good multiverse movie, you need to have a good story at the center of it. You can't just bank on the nostalgia element of it all. Same thing with all the Disney live-action remakes. The second movies like Maleficent and Jungle Book proved to be marketable, it just opened the floodgates for remakes of animated movies that nobody was asking for, to the point where now it is a rarity to see a Disney movie that's not a reboot, remake, or reimagining of something. Bringing it back to this X-Men series that, again, has been very good so far, I am very worried that it's going to lead Marvel executives to the conclusion that nostalgia and nostalgia alone sells. I really hope I'm wrong, but based on other trends I've seen in Hollywood, I really don't think I am. Which is unfortunate, because as much as I like this show, I do eventually want to see a new adaptation of the X-Men that isn't tied to a pre-existing continuity and can just do its own thing. Like the last guy said, I want the next generation of fans to have a new version of the X-Men, their own version of the X-Men, not just our hand-me-down. Again, as long as the writing continues to be as good as those first two episodes, I'm gonna enjoy this show in the meantime. But I'm worried about the precedent it'll set for the industry moving forward. Episode 3 of X-Men 97 just dropped, so let's talk about it. Or to the wise, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen this new episode, go watch it and come right back. They done took my girl's storm out of the intro, bro. It's official. I know they're setting her up for that life-death story arc that they're probably going to explore later on in the season. But the hole I felt in her chest when I saw her title card gone, I can't put it into words. You know the writers of a show are cooking when even the filler episodes feel like they matter. While this episode feels largely self-contained, there are clearly a lot of moving parts and pieces that are being shifted that are going to come into play later on. Remember what I said last week that I really didn't like where this Magneto rogue subplot was going? Again, jail. But whichever one of y'all sickos in the animation department conceived the idea for this abomination. Justice for my man Gambit, bro. They did not need to do him like that. It's shit like this that's exactly why the X-Men need a registered therapist on their staff. I honestly was not expecting them to do the clone reveal this early in the game. This is exactly the kind of plotline that less talented writers, like the ones who are working on the other Disney Plus shows, would have dragged out for like 5 or 6 episodes. Looking back, it does make perfect sense that this Jean turned out to be the clone, because I did feel like she was acting out of character in those first 2 episodes, especially when she was trying to convince Scott to leave the team. I really hope my boy Bishop gets more to do moving forward too, because so far they've pretty much been using him as a background character until the plot needs him. He did have one dope action scene in this episode when the X-Men got trapped in hell, gave us a closer look into how his powers actually work. But right when it seemed like they were about to give this man something to do, they send his ass right back to the future. But hopefully this isn't the last we see of him in this season. Logan? You devious son of a bitch. This man didn't waste not 1 second to slide into Jean's mental DMs. Waited till the crib was empty, till her mail was out on a mission to start spitting that game. You ain't shit for that, Logan. I hope Cyclops comes back and blasts your ass back to the Weapon X program. Also, it was really sad to see Morph have to relive all his trauma that he accumulated from Sinister. But we not just gonna gloss over that sus shit you said to Wolverine while he was in the shower. I mean, I know the X-Men in the comics are pretty much just one giant orgy at this point, but I was not expecting them to start carrying that Krakoa shit over to this show, especially so soon. Also, how the hell was he able to transform into magic? Because we saw Illyana Rasputin in the animated series in like season 3, and she was only like 11. This show was supposed to take place only a year after season 5. So when would Illyana even have time to become magic? And how is Morph even aware she exists? I just need someone to explain to me how his powers work, period. Like, where do the character's weapons come from when he transformed? He did it when he turned into Psylocke too. Are the weapons like part of his body? Does he just conjure them out of thin air? Am I thinking way too deeply about this cartoon about mutants and superheroes? Yes, that's just who I am, damn it. All in all, very solid episode, and I'm excited to see more. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you fly like me, give me a follow.